because this mind tells us anxiety in our knowledge, because we've been taught anxiety is something bad, so it creates contraction, rejection, avoidance, or reaction to it. We don't watch and see what anxiety actually comes to tell us. The language of our mind tells us anxiety means you have something you love, you have something you cherish, something you want to nourish. But instead of us listening to it and understanding the situation we are in and what is the best course of action to take towards the desired goal or the situation we are in, we avoid. If we are scared of driving, if we get anxious from driving, if we are anxious to approach a girl, to ask for a raise at our job, or it's preventing us from achieving our tower, to build this Babylon tower that we are meant to build.
Currently, what projects are you working on other than writing? Because you're writing, but currently outside of writing.
I'm running currently a business. I'm running a BPO company. I do outsource services, call center services, customer support, SDR, BDR from Philippines to the US.
Cool.
I'm currently have a construction project in Thailand. We're building a small complex.
In Bangkok or?
No, in Koh Samui.
Ah, okay.
Not so nice. It's so much headache.
I
regret so much going into this project.
Your energy, like everything.
I don't put energy into this stuff. I put project managers. Everything in my life I delegate. Every company I've ever structured, every company I ever built, I always delegate 99% of the work that needs to be done. Like whenever I used to come and speak to my team, the first sentence I always do when I speak to everybody, my first sentence is always the same. I am the stupidest guy in this room. I don't know how to do marketing. I don't know how to do recruitment. I don't know how to do accounting. I don't know any of it. All of this company is from the ground up is thanks to you. Me, I'm just a connecting part. I'm the visionary. I see the big problem, and that I see the cure that we can provide to whoever experiences this problem. And so I had many companies in my life. I started in sales. In the beginning, I was selling cosmetics, beauty products from Betsy to women, hair straighteners, curlers, like literally concessions in the middle of the shopping mall. We were stopping people. Excuse me, miss, can I show you something if you know these kind of people? I've started like a salesperson. This was like my first grown-up job after I left Israel and moved to the UK. And very quickly, communication, talking, understanding people's needs and pain and how to give them what they want. It was very easy for me. So from agent, I became a manager. From a manager, area manager. From area manager, I started to open shops, open more locations with the owner and became a partner with him basically. This was my first business. And we ended up with around 40 locations across the UK and Ireland. And that was going well. I also got married while I was in the UK. I left Israel when I was very young. And we spoke about before about after the army, I left Israel.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're 21, you're kind of alone in a new country. You can't try to find your way. You can't try to look for like stability or something to. And she mainly provided me, I would say, comfort and a sense of safety, but it was never really love or relationship. But it served its purpose for the time. And I stayed in the UK for about 5 years, doing pretty much the same thing. Until one point, I felt like I went to the same routine, my life is about, I have very powerful creation energy and a very powerful destruction energy. I build, it gets to a point that it's working amazing, I get bored, I don't see the purpose of it, I don't see the reason of it, and then I burn it all down, I burn the bridges, and I move on to the next place. I did it in school, I moved 7 different schools, and growing up as a teenager until the age of 15. And then I just stopped going to school, I just went to the final exams just to get the diploma, the high school diploma. I did it in 12 different countries in my life. From the UK, I moved to the US, I lived in 3 different states in the US. Then I moved to Bulgaria, then Romania, Czech, Serbia, Croatia, Ukraine. Then traveling a little bit after the war started for a couple of years. Then I moved to Thailand and Philippines. Now I'm in Indonesia.
Wow. So you at the moment, with all of that going on, and then also writing a book, and you are writing a book at the moment. So can you tell us more about this book that you're working on?
The book is, for me, it's all the knowledge that I've managed to accumulate over the past 5 years from when I decided to jump off the cliff of everything that I've known before. chasing after money, chasing after women, chasing after fun, parties, power, the survival, the victim personality that I had until I was 35. And then I went on a journey, let's call it a journey of self-discovery, and starting to look for different Zen masters, different ashrams, retreats, workshops, and try to understand, to find purpose to this life. Mm-hmm. When I was 35, I kind of achieved all of my life goals. I was making crazy salaries. I had a supermodel girlfriend, more beautiful from inside than she was from outside. I was living on a gorgeous penthouse in Kiev. I had almost 1,500 employees. Like, I achieved everything that life told me that I need to achieve in order to be happy. But achieving this peak of the mountain, I only felt crazy depression. I hated everything. To the point that I left. I did the same that I did before, like I packed my bags, I burned all the bridges, I left the company, I left my fiancée, I left everything behind and went to the next destination. And this kind of the start of my journey. After everything that I've been through before in my childhood, in my teenager years. And this book, I write it, for me, I'm logical. I don't do spiritual so much. I don't do energy, butterflies and unicorns, and it don't really talk to me. Yeah. I need to something tangible.
Tangible, yeah.
And this book, every time we learn to use something in our life, we get instruction manual to it. When we start learning to use our car, to use the phone, to use the iPad, we get instructions. We learn how to use it, but nobody ever gave us instruction to us. And to us as human, how do we function? This body, the mind. Understanding that it's not us, understanding it's a device that is meant to serve us, the same as a car. Understanding the nature of our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, who we are in this world, how to act in this world, and how to communicate.
That's so powerful, yeah.
And everything that this book is literally instruction manual. One by one, if you do 1 + 1 + 1, I guarantee you reach your destination. And at the end of the day, the destination, we all have the same destination, we all have the same starting point.
Yeah.
We are all in a state of life that sometimes we are happy, we expand, sometimes we contract, we suffer. Yeah. We all have these ups and downs. This is the roller coaster of life.
Why do you think people struggle with understanding their purpose in life? Because I think you sent me some of your work, and then when I read it, it's talk about a lot of it, purpose, right? So, why do you think that is? People are struggle to find or understanding their life purpose.
In one word, I would say it's knowledge. I would say wrong knowledge, misled knowledge, or plain ignorance. And we've been taught that the purpose of life is to have a kid, is to graduate from university, is to get married, to have a kid, to buy a house. We thought that these things, the purpose is what we need to do. Our purpose is the same purpose. If you summarize everything, and this is a journey that you actually need to walk in order to see it yourself and experience it yourself, and you do it through different techniques that I teach. But our purpose in this life is the same purpose of everything else in this planet. Every object in this world has the same purpose. Your car, your phone, this chair, this table, everything has the same purpose. Everything is here to serve. Mm-hmm. And we as humans have the same purpose, the same as our mind and our body. It's also here to serve. And there is a quote that I really, really love by Picasso. He says, the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away.
Wow, so the meaning of life is to find your gift, and then your purpose of life is to give it away.
It's to serve. It's to use it to. It's the same with the car. The meaning of the car is to drive you from point A to point Z.
Right.
And the meaning of the car is to take you there. The purpose of the car is to take you there.
Yeah.
And we all have different potentials. I teach a model of the gardener and the garden. And the gardener is us, our mind and our body. And it's who we need to take care of, who we have responsibility towards.
Yes.
And in order for the gardener to be able to go to the garden and to be able to nourish our potentials, whatever seed that life gave to us. Mm-hmm. And each of us have different potentials, different skills, different seeds in this garden. But there is again, we first wanted to take care of the gardener, which we never understood. We never see our mind or our body as something separate from us. So we never treated it.
So what the body is the garden.
The body and the mind are the gardener.
Or the body and the mind is the garden. Gardener.
And the garden is the potential that you have in life. It's your family, it's your job, it's your skills, it's whatever you have that you need to nourish.
I see.
But first you need to take care of the gardener. And now, because we never been able to distinguish between us and our mind or our body, we never treated it like a device. I mean, you never put the wrong type of gas in your car.
Yeah.
You'll never forget to charge your phone before you go to sleep. You will always maintain every device you have in life.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your body, do you eat the food that nourish it? Do you put the right fuel in it? Do you provide the right content for your mind in order for it to maintain it in a working state? Do you meditate? Do you give it the right conditions for it to be in a working state of mind? We never distinguish between them. We always consider them us. And now, big part of what I teach is everything is objects, external and internal. A bird is an object, the same as my emotions, my feelings, my thoughts, they are all objects. They all have the same truth. They all have beginning, they all have duration and end, and they constantly change. And now it's very easy for us not to associate ourselves when we see a bird. Yeah, I don't think I'm the bird. But when it's an emotion, when it's anxiety, I'm anxious. But both of them have the same truth. They both have a beginning, they both have a duration, they have an end, and they constantly change. Nothing lasts forever.
Nothing lasts forever, yeah.
There is one thing in this life that is not temporary, that is not changing, which is us, which is this path is a path to discover you, to find you, which you never lost him, you never needed to find him, he's always there. But and when you see yourself, when you understand that you are not temporary. You are always the one who is aware of everything that's going on. You are aware of the bird, you are aware of the emotion, you are aware of the thought, you are aware of the anxiety. You can see them begin, end, and change, but you yourself, you don't begin when anxiety begins. You don't finish or end when anxiety ends. You don't change when anxiety changes. You don't become it. And you observe them. You are bigger than them. You are the one that is watching them, that observes them.
Okay, so let's say, if I were to become aware of my own thoughts and my own emotions and experiences and objects out here, I am not those things that I'm aware of, like thoughts, but the one who is aware of the thoughts. Is that what you're saying?
That you will be able, once you're aware of an emotion, you can see that anxiety at the beginning. It started sometime. It started in some
the thoughts of like anxiety, for example.
Anxiety, the feeling. It started, it had the beginning. It started when if you have anxiety about driving a car, it started when you stepped inside of the car. It will end when you leave the car, when you get out of the car. Yeah. It will change to something different.
I see.
But you, the one that is watching, you're aware of it. You don't start with it, you don't end with it. You don't change when it changes. You are constant. You are like an island that keeps coming to it.
So the suffering comes from identified with the anxiety thoughts?
Suffering comes from our inability to communicate in the same language as our mind.
I see.
Anxiety don't come to tell you that anxiety is not something bad, but your knowledge tells you that your mind works in like binary. It's like a child. It's good and bad. It's I want, I don't want, I feel like it, I don't feel like it. It works in two ways. It's designed to keep you safe, to sustain your life.
Yeah.
Now, we learned our knowledge, what we've been taught from when we were kids, that anxiety is something bad. You need to take breath walks, you need to calm down, you need to avoid it, you need to watch it. We've been told it's something bad. So immediately our mind does contraction. Contraction, rejection, avoidance, reaction. And this will be the automatic response of the mind. But anxiety don't come to tell us something is bad. It just come to tell you, if it's about driving a car, it tells you, look how much you love your life. Look how much you value your life. Now, when you understand this, and you understand, first of all, anxiety is not something bad. It simply shows you that you have something that you really love about in this life. Second of all, you see that it's an object, that it's temporary. It has a beginning, a duration, an end, and it will change to something different.
Right.
You are able to see it as a bag of stones that you are carrying with you, this anxiety. And by being able to communicate between your mind and you are able to let go of the bag of stones. Now, the bag of stones don't go away. Even if you are able to be aware of it, it does not go away. It's still there on the floor.
Right, yeah.
But you are able to see the intentions and the purpose of the situation. So I stepped inside of the car. I feel anxiety. I feel I have this bag of stone. I'm able to let go of this. I can see it as an object. I'm able to let it go. It's not me. I'm not identifying myself with it anymore. Now I can ask myself, what is the purpose of this situation? Why did I step inside of the car?
I see.
And then I can take the beneficial action towards achieving my goals, achieving what the purpose of this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I can drive the car and get to my destination.
So I had this experience, especially when I'm about to go on to the stage, and I experience anxiety. So people like me, how do I overcome that?
Did you went on the stage and speak?
Yes, I did.
Then you overcame it.
Then I overcome it, but I
seen,
still have that butterfly before.
It will never go away.
I see.
It's not meant to go away. It's the way your mind and body is supposed to function.
I see.
Contraction will never feel good.
Yeah.
Something bad that our knowledge tell us it's bad, it will never feel good. But what we can do by creating new actions and creating new experiences, we create new knowledge. So the first time you went on the stage, you felt crazy, very strong anxiety, right? Very big.
Yeah.
The second time, how big was it?
Not that big.
And the third time?
And the fourth time, I kind of like looking forward to it.
Once you start to experience
yeah.
with aware decisions to go on the stage, regardless of this anxiety.
Yeah.
And I went on the stage and I took the action. Then I get a new knowledge.
Right.
Then it's not so scary anymore. Then I start gathering new knowledge. So new knowledge creates new experiences, new emotions. So now going on the stage is not something scary anymore.
I see.
It's something that benefits my life. It serves my purpose to whatever.
As a special entrepreneur, it's like imperative to be able to do public speaking, right? You gotta
in everything we do in life.
On the stage, yeah.
It's in everything we do in life. It's if you want to drive a car, if you want to approach a girl, if you want to get married, whatever we do, if you want to ask for a raise from our boss.
Yeah.
It's being aware of it, being able to communicate, understanding that the only thing that your mind is telling you when you feel anxiety about going to the stage, what does your mind tell you? It tells you she wants you to succeed.
I see.
She don't want you to fail, so she's telling you be aware of this, notice this.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you are able to see this bag of stone that she puts, you feel the contraction, you let go.
Mm.
And you speak to yourself, what is the purpose of the situation? Why am I in the backstage right now? What do I want to achieve here? What will be the beneficial action I can take? Will it be to go back home and not to go on the stage? Or will it be to take a deep breath, calm my body down a little bit, and to go and say whatever information I want to share with the people? Even coming to this podcast, I have many insecurities about the way I speak, my speech, my diction.
Uh-huh.
I have lisp, I swallow words, I don't pronounce certain letters. The way I speak is not perfect yet. So it creates anxiety. I feel anxiety, but it does not prevent me from coming and sitting and talk with you. Because for me right now, I want to expose this book. I want to expose this knowledge with as many people as I can, because I believe that this is the true path to eliminate suffering from your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way to achieve a constant state of well-being and connect, and to be able to create the communication between your mind and yourself.
Mm-hmm.
From that place, you can complete your Babylon Tower. You can reach the heavens.
Man, I love this because you're the living, breathing example of what you are teaching, right?
Everything
I can feel it.
Everything I say, I live by my own experience.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's funny because my knowledge is a little bit funny when it comes to fear. Fear for me is on the good side.
Mm-hmm.
So fear for me creates expansion, desire, attraction, and action towards it.
Right.
So my mantra in life is, when you're scared to jump in the water, jump scared. And whenever I feel fear in life, it's like a compass. It's directing me into this direction.
I see,
if most people see the risk, I see the reward.
Uh-huh.
I see what I can achieve from this fear. I see what this have to offer me.
Yeah.
If I fall down, if I crash, it's okay. I get back up again. I dust myself up. I continue to walk. I know. I felt so many times in life. I know I will always be able to get up again. You know, it's a samurai way of mindset. It's fall down 7 times, get up 8.
Get up 8. Yeah.
I will never stay down. Mm-hmm. I know that I'm always able to keep going. I was blessed with so many tools, with so many potential, that in many specters of my life that I took the chance and I jumped into, I succeeded. Mm-hmm. Not the first time, not the second time, maybe not even the 10th time. Mm-hmm. But eventually, I am always able to create math. I can create algorithm for this success. Business became super easy. I can do it in sleep. Everything you do enough time, and everything you do enough times, everything you live by, and you do live it by examples, it's your responsibility to teach it. And I think you do the same from your side, from your angle.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm with you on that in terms of sharing knowledge. And yeah, people like you, we need more people like you, like want to go out there, even if like there's fear, you run towards it, and all you other people see it's risk, but like what you said, you see like reward. And if you fail, if you fall, you get up and then you like brush it off and like keep moving forward.
And again, this is experience.
Yeah.
This is enough time that I fell down and I managed to get back up again.
Mm-hmm.
If I would not fall down this many times, this fear would still be something that stops me from acting.
Yeah.
But through this fear, through this contraction, and going through it and creating new experience, creating new knowledge about this object that I'm doing,
yes.
It becomes more natural. I understand that it's not such a big issue. I understand that it's not the end of the world if I fall down, if I fail, if the girl would tell me no when I go and speak to her.
Yes.
It's not
the end of the world.
Exactly.
It's like,
but you have to experience it, because theoretical knowledge, when you read a book, it's nice, it's pretty, but unless you experience, unless you literally experience it, you don't accumulate the knowledge. It just becomes philosophy, something to discuss about. It's a nice idea, but it's not tangible. It's not something you live by or experience on your day to day.
You're right. There's a quote about experience. It's like people. There's a saying that experience is the greatest teacher, and also
experience is what? Sorry?
Experience. It's a best teacher.
Yeah.
The best teacher, because if you just read a book, you don't experience it. Yeah, it's not embedded into your body. You don't feel it viscerally.
It's not your knowledge.
Yeah. But if you experience it, and I also want to go a little bit further than that. I said, if we are not reflect, let's say in our experience, so many people just experience and yet they just bypass and don't take the time to reflect, examine their experience, and as a result of that, they don't learn. Although they experience it, you know, if that makes sense.
This is in the first lesson that I teach my learning model. How we learn, how do we accumulate new knowledge.
Yeah.
So the first stage we need to do is to give whatever we want to learn, whatever we want to examine, explore. We need to first of all focus our attention on it.
Okay.
And if I want to understand this ceiling, I need to look up. I need to give my attention to the ceiling, and then I can see the shape of it, how it's made from.
Right.
And the second part is to hold it. Not to bring my own knowledge about it, just to observe it, to see it, to let it soak in. This is a lake model that I also teach, which I call it a splash.
Splash.
When a situation, something happens, you create, the first thing is the splash. It's emotion, thoughts, feeling that you have, and whatever knowledge you had before. Now, the next stage is to think about it, to think about whatever it is that you are exploring right now, whatever it is that you are examining, whatever object you want to learn about, then experimenting with it. Then to rethink about it, but this time you don't think about it from the first time that it's just an idea. This time you think about the experience. You think about your own experience with it. So, for example, you thought about I taught you meditation. You thought about meditation. You thought about what the concept of it, what it can do. Then you experimented with it. Then the second, when you think about it again, you think about your experience. So you see that 5 minutes of meditation a day gives you a calmer and brighter mind state. And then you re-experiment with it. But this time you don't experiment as an experiment, this time you implement it as a way of life. So whatever you experience and you had good reflection from it, then you can experience it as a way of life. And the next stage, once you embedded something as your way of life, you can teach it.
I see. So you have to embed it, like embody that lesson. So that
everything we do on a day-to-day basis. If I know how to ride a bicycle, I can teach you how to ride a bicycle. If I know how to meditate, I can teach you how to meditate. If I know how to use PowerPoint, I can teach you how to use PowerPoint. And once I know how to do it, it's my responsibility to share with you this knowledge. Example I use, for example, is people who have migraines. So a lot of time, the reason for migraines is just too much coffee. So if, for example, you had migraines and I told you that maybe you should try reducing the amount of coffee you drink every day. And first of all, you thought about it, then you experimented with it, you reduced your coffee, then you re-thought about it after a few times that you did it, you see that not drinking coffee reduces the migraines you have, then you embedded it into your life, now you have responsibility. So if somebody else comes to you and tells you I'm suffering from migraines, you can come to him and tell him, have you tried maybe to reduce the amount of coffee you drink every day? For me, from my own personal experience, from my journey, from my past, it helped me.
Yes.
Now you have responsibility to share this knowledge. This is for me teaching. It does not need to be now to provide a full course or give an instruction manual to anything. Just whatever it is that you live by.
Yes.
And works for you and help you.
Yes.
To share this knowledge. And this is more than enough.
Amazing.
If you, a little bit of kindness, a little bit of good in the world will nourish this planet so much. And we need it so much.
I believe in you, brother. We definitely need that. So let's move on. You talk about also reality, right? How do you define reality, and what role does perception play in shaping and understanding of the world?
Explain the question.
So everything that we see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, or we make our own interpretation and then different reality. Like you see the world from different reality, and me see the world from the different reality, and the viewers also see the world from different reality. So how do we define because some in your book you talk about truth as well, right? That's the core kind of the teaching of the book as well, like purpose and then understand the truth. So how do you define reality?
In one way, I would say it's simple. Again, we go back to the same answer, and it will be knowledge. It's everything we'll be brought up to be.
Yeah.
From our parents, our education, religion, experiences we had, how we perceive them as a student, how we experience them, and what we believe of right is wrong.
Yeah.
But what I teach, a big part of it to understand is that all the knowledge we have is subjective knowledge. It's only subjective to what you experience. And
yes, as an individual. Yes.
And not only this, you are a slave to your knowledge.
Uh-huh.
What
do you mean by slave to the knowledge?
I'll explain. We never chose our experiences, where we've been brought up, our religion, our parents, where we've been. Now, according to what we've been brought up, we have the good and bad columns in our mind. What is good and what is bad.
Yeah.
I can tell you many different things, many different words in the world, many different words, and your mind will immediately classify them as good or bad. Love, happiness, joy, traveling, hate, anger, pain. And your mind immediately classified as good and bad.
And make that as reality. That's the reality that. Yes.
This is your opinion.
Oh, that's just your opinion.
There is no difference between you and a child who was brought up in an ISIS family, a terrorist group. Now, your knowledge, what you've been provided, is that terrorism is bad, that it kills people, it damages the planet, it damages population, society, blah blah blah, etc., etc., etc. Now, you never chose this knowledge. You never chose where you've been brought up. You never chose this is to know what you know. The child who grew up in an ISIS family, in a terrorist group, never chose to be born in this group as well. He never chose to know that his teaching will be that killing is good, that the infidels are bad, that terrorists to create terrorism activities will liberate whatever they want to liberate. He is a slave to this knowledge. He never his intentions is never to generate bad or to be. He never think of himself as evil.
Yes.
I'm Jewish. For this example, I always like to use Hitler. Hitler never thought to himself, I'm evil. I'm going to annihilate all the Jewish people from the world. His knowledge simply told him, from his experience in life, told him that the Jewish people are the reason the German people are suffering. Now, I don't justify the knowledge. I don't justify the actions. But from a place I understand that it's simply that I can understand that his intentions is always to generate good, the same as every single person on this planet. The intention is always to generate good. I can find compassion.
I see.
And from this place, if I can find compassion towards Hitler, I can find compassion towards my father. My father never thought to himself, I'm evil. I hate Asaf. I'm going to beat him up. I'm going to push him to his edge. His knowledge told him that I'm not disciplined enough. I'm not good enough, or whatever it is that his knowledge told him. His past experience, probably what his parents did to him was physical abuse. So his actions was towards me in the same way. Now, from a place that I can understand that his intentions was never to hurt me. I'm not the bad kid. His intention was to generate good, to discipline me, to make me the best version I can be. And his knowledge simply told him that this is the way to do it.
Yes, yeah.
He never chose this as well. And he is a slave to this as much as we are a slave to every other piece of knowledge we have. I can find compassion towards my father. I can find compassion towards my teachers, kids at school that used to beat me up, girls that used to make fun of me, everything that happened to me in the army, every person who ever done bad to me, I can find compassion and understanding towards him from a place that I understand that the intentions of everybody and every single person living on this planet is to generate good. And their good is simply based on the knowledge that they were given, the experiences they lived, the places they were born. It's never a choice.
I see. So that I can understand, the individual confined within their own knowledge, and that knowledge can lead them in terms of create the result. Like either we perceive it as good or bad. In this case, like Hitler, it's it's within confined of his knowledge at that time that he sees that okay, the Jews was the reason for the suffering of German, and then he confined by that knowledge and
created actions.
And it created action or create suffering as we perceive it.
As we perceive it, exactly. Even suffering, even pain, we perceive it as knowledge.
I see.
For me and you, for example, pain will be on the bad. So if I experience physical pain, it will create contraction, rejection, avoidance, yes? But what about masochism? People who enjoy pain. Where is pain on their column? Is it good or bad?
I see.
They have knowledge, pain equals good.
Good, yeah.
Create expansion, create desire, create attraction, movements towards. Everything is an opinion. And true knowledge and of all of the object towards, outward and inward, is that everything in the world is simply an object.
Yeah.
It's a temporary and changing object. Everything has a beginning, duration, and end, and it's constantly changed. This knowledge is indisputable by... True knowledge means that nobody in the world can dispute it. Whether if it's me, you, whether if it's a guy living in Peru, a guy in Japan, a girl or a boy or an old man. We all agree we can argue with it, but we are bound to true knowledge.
Yeah.
So by saying that everything is temporary and changing, I can try to fight it. I can try to hold on to life or to hold on to a partner or to work or to a job or money, but it will all have beginning, duration, and end, and it will change.
I see.
This is the true knowledge. This is true knowledge. And when we can see this and we can understand that everything beside it is simply an effect of knowledge that we've been taught.
Yeah.
Which we can look back and understand that all of this is wrong knowledge. It's simply our opinion. It's never been through direct experience. And even if it is, it's still our own experience. It's still our own personal knowledge. It's only our opinion. It's subjective knowledge.
I see. Yeah. So what you're saying is that it's individuals' experience, and we cannot. And then at the end of the day, is we confined by that experience or by that knowledge, and to judge that as it's good or bad, it's just an opinion at the end of the day. Neither it's like there's a quote, right? It's nothing is good or bad except thinking make it so, something like that.
Except what your knowledge is, what your answer is about. There's a saying that I really like, saying everybody wants to save the world, but nobody agrees on how. This is the reason of all the wars in the planet.
I see.
Everybody have intention to save this world, you know. Putin don't think himself is evil when he invaded Ukraine. Palestinians don't think they're evil when they kidnap Israelis. Israel don't think they're evil when they fight. It's everybody trying to save the world. Everybody trying to generate good. But their knowledge is different. They don't agree on how to do it. Because
of the different knowledge.
And different knowledge is crazy wherever you go in the world, you know. It's if you get to travel a little bit, you see different cultures, you see different people, the way they live. I lived in 13 different countries. I traveled more than 60 countries. I love to explore how local people live, how the basic and the culture is. And the craziest things, like something that for me are like in the very, very bad column, like I went to Africa. And in Africa, in some places, to rape a girl, considered to be something that is good, it's normal.
What?
For me, it created a massive contraction. I have 3 sisters, 2 of them being sexually abused. Like, for me, it's created, my knowledge is so bad about it. It creates self-control. But over there, it's an expansion. It's perfectly normal for a guy to come take a girl and do his way with her. And
oh my God, I didn't know this.
In some places,
madness for me, like.
This is because we are very close to women in our life. Also, look at people who grew up in ISIS, in terrorist groups. Their knowledge tells them that killing is good. That decapitating people had to blow up the Twin Towers in the US. It's something good. They never think for 1 second that they are evil and that they are doing something bad. They are trying they're trying to generate good.
I see.
Based on the knowledge they have, based on the experience they had, where they've been brought up, how they've been brought up, they're only trying to generate good based on the knowledge they have. The actions is simply an attempt to create good.
I see.
People who murder, pedophiles, you can take it to everybody in the world. Everybody wants to be happy. Everybody wants to be healthy. Everybody wants to create good. It simply depends on the knowledge we have.
I see. So it all comes down to the knowledge that we have.
It's at the end of the day, it's all of everything. Yeah, my eyes also kind of opened up.
What's going on? Yeah. Wow. Thank you. Can you share a few of the simple daily practices from your book that can lead to profound changes in people's lives?
The way the book is constructed is basically built on the yoga way of living. Yoga is not vinyasa, ashtanga. It's not the base of yoga. Yoga means life. The vinyasa and ashtanga is the first stage of yoga. It's hatha. It means effort. It's to, first of all, to work on the gardener, the body and the mind. Now, first of all, because we never learn how to operate these devices, the body, it's simple. We can do gym, we can do exercise, it's easier to operate and maintain it. Eat healthy food, we already have enough awareness for it. The mind, we don't have the same instruction book. We need to maintain the mind the same way we need to maintain our car. So we need to change oils, we need to put fuel in it, we need to create it. And the way we maintain the mind is, first of all, by the content we allow it to be exposed to.
Okay.
Whether if it's news, whether if it's Instagram, Netflix, or on the other side, good positive content that opens it up, whether if it's podcasts, reading, etc. Second of all, I teach 3 types of meditation practices in this path. The first one is focus meditation. Focus meditation basically means watch the breath and notice the movement of the automation mind. How the mind always want to move left and right, like I compare it to riding a horse. You know,
Yes.
when you ride a horse, the horse always want to move left and right.
Yes.
But you always have the ability as a rider to just give it a little pull, and it
straight.
directs you to where you want to go. This is focus meditation. This is gym for the mind. This is designed to give us the ability to focus our attention on whatever object we want, whether if it's boring, fun, or not, and keep our attention where we want it to be. And when the mind goes away to a pretty girl, a distraction, a sensation, a thought, something that I need to do, I can say, not now, I did not call for it. I give it a little pull back and I can bring my attention back to you. This is the first stage, and we know that if we want to learn new knowledge, the first thing we need to do is to provide this object attention. Focus meditation designed to clear your mind, kind of plowing your field, removing all the weed from the field, preparing the soil to be sowed and to be planted. The second meditation is called mindfulness meditation, which is basically broad awareness. Here, the concept behind it is to notice everything that's going on, from sensation, from body sensation, heart, cold, scratch, itch, pain, etc., and to more delicate stuff like emotions, thoughts, feelings. We want to notice everything that's going on around us. This gives us the ability to distinguish, the ability to notice everything and to also see the chain of events. We think that anxiety, for example, lasts forever. Anxiety lasts for a few minutes maximum. Anxiety might come, and then immediately afterwards come contraction, the feeling, then rejection, then a thought, oh no, it's anxiety again, then reaction, avoidance, rejection, moving out. We don't see the chain of events. We don't notice. We are not able to distinguish between things.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, with enough practice, we will be able to distinguish between us and our mind. And then we are able to start an inner dialogue between them. We can create communication between the two systems. And the last meditation that I teach, which is, it's called analytical meditation. This is actually where we examine everything. So,
sorry, say that again.
Analytical meditation.
Analytical, yeah.
This is where we actually examine everything firsthand. So the first meditation, the focus meditation, I compare it to for a camera. The first thing you want to do when you use a camera is to put it on a tripod. You want it to be stable in order to get a clear image, so it will not be shaky. You want to clean the lenses so it will not have different. You'll be able to provide you a clear image.
Yeah.
The same you work with your mind. Focus meditation comes to mind. It focuses. It puts you in a straight line. It kind of switch the lights on in the room, so you're able to notice what everything is going on around now. You're not cluttered with many different things. Then mindfulness gives you the ability to notice everything that's going on inside of this picture.
Yes.
You're able to notice the different parts. You're able to notice the chain of events, the composition of the composition, the exposure, everything. You are able to notice the details. Kind of being like a watcher in a movie. You know, you notice everything going on. It's not you. You notice it happening. You notice it, you classify it, and you see the chain of event. The sound comes, I hear the sound. The sound at the beginning, duration, and end. After the sound, I get an expansion. If I like this sound, maybe it brings a memory, a thought. I start singing in this song. You see the chain of event of everything that's going on. You become like a watcher in a movie. And then you pick the object you want to focus on. You want to explore, you want to investigate, and then you go into analytical meditation, which basically we will go here through a few different stages. First of all, we will notice the nature of the object we want to investigate.
Yeah.
We will see that it has a temporary and changing nature. We'll be able to have the dialogue with our mind of what this object come here to teach us, to show us, to let's take anxiety, for example. Okay, so first of all, we see we'll understand what it comes to show us. So anxiety comes to show us, for example, that we have things in our lives that we love. Then we'll notice it as an object. We'll see it as a temporary and changing object. We'll know it as a beginning, duration, and end, and it will change. At that point, we are able to let go of the object, and we are able to look who we are without this object. Okay, so we are able to see that when we did not start, when anxiety started, we did not end when anxiety ended, we did not change when it ended. So then we ask ourselves, then who am I? Without this anxiety, who am I? What is left? And we can see that what's left is the intention to generate good. Now let's leave the knowledge. We have intention to generate good. What is the purpose of this situation? What do I want to achieve here? And then we can take the beneficial action towards it. One of my favorite examples is something that from my own experience from my life, and my mom, whenever I used to come visit my mom when I was a kid, I come visit and I want to increase this bond, to create a good relationship between her. My mom always used to ask me, why are you single? Why are you not married? Why are you not stable? For me, I hear criticism. Criticism on the bad column, create contraction, rejection, avoidance, reaction. So most of my 20s, I used to fight her back. This is my life, this is the path I've chosen, this is what I do, and I do this for you. I want to take care of you financially, I want to make sure that you have a good retirement, that you have a home when you retire, that you have a life, and which I achieved, which I gave to them as well. But once I understood that I'm able to become aware of what's going on inside of me, I cannot change her. Now I can listen to her. So when she asked me, why am I not married? Why I didn't settle down? Why I don't have kids? I can look at the stone in the lake. I can hear her intentions. I know her intention is to generate good. So what is she trying to tell me? Now I can look at her knowledge. Her knowledge tells her that for me to be happy, I need to be married, I need to be settled down, I need to have kids. Now I don't hear criticism anymore from this point. What I hear is, son, I love you. I want you to be happy. For my knowledge tells me that for you to be happy, you need to settle down, have kids, and find a family. And now I can respond to her intentions and not to what I hear, not to her words. I can respond to her in a way that I can tell her, Mom, I love you too. Thank you so much for wanting me to be happy. I love you too.
I love it. Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, she didn't change, but I changed my response. But the entire situation changed. I'm no longer getting up and leaving the room. I don't scream at her. We do not get into a fight.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it becomes a dialogue. It's become communication. And I can tell you in the last few years, my relationship with my mom, my sisters, my brothers, everybody around me has been so nourishing in a mutual way, you know? Like, when my mom now has problems with my sisters or my brothers, she called me, Asaf, I need advice. Explain to me what happened. Help me with Odelia. Help me with your sisters. I don't know how to deal with her. And our relationship just became something that is mutual nourishing. Our bond is stronger. And I see it with my partners in business. I see it in the relationship that I'm in and out. I can see that we can find dialogue. We can find a way to communicate in a different way. I don't react to what she's telling me. I don't react to my knowledge. I don't react to criticism equal bad, reject, avoid, react. I don't need to respond anymore. I don't need to react. I can hear the intentions. I can hear what she's really trying to tell me. I can hear the love. I can see the care.
That's true compassion, the ability to be able to take yourselves out and see it objectively.
It's awareness.
Awareness. Yeah.
It's just being aware that her intention is always to generate good. Awareness that whatever she's told me is a reaction to my knowledge. It's not her, it's a reaction to my past, a past that I did not choose. I never chose that criticism would be on the bad column in my knowledge. I never chose it create contraction in my body. I can see this, but I'm no longer a slave to this contraction. I don't need to react to it immediately. I can let the stone settle down in the lake. I can see the stone to what it really is. I can see the stone for its true intentions. I can hear the love. I can see the good intentions in every single person, no matter what he does.
Powerful, man. Yeah. So what do you hope readers will take away from this book, and how do you envision it transforming their lives?
From my own experience, this knowledge, this path that I'm walking, that I'm living by, if you knew me 5-10 years ago, you will not meet the same person.
I see.
I don't experience suffering anymore. I experience contractions. You know, this is inevitable. As long as I have things that I love in life, I will feel anxiety. As long as I live and I don't have a purpose, I will feel depression. As long as I have this physical body, I will feel fear. I feel contraction, but I don't suffer from it anymore. It becomes a part of my life. The way I like to visualize it, you know, when a wave comes, when you're in the ocean and a wave comes, you have 3 ways to respond to it. One is to let it wash you to the shore, you know, like it's too powerful and just wash you to the shore.
Yeah.
The second one is to fight it, to jump into it. But the third one, the one that I'm working on right now, is to kind of float through it, to feel it, to see it, to be aware of it, but not to let it affect me, and become a part of it. In my hope, whoever will read this book or will do this course will get a deeper understanding of who they are, and he will be able to understand what their mind is telling them. He will be able to remove himself from victim personality. He'll be able to deal with his anxieties, with his fears. He'll be able to take positive actions in his life and to provide his garden the right conditions in order for his potentials to grow and for him to be able to serve in whatever way he's meant to serve in this world, and to live to his purpose, and to not, even if it's not towards the world, even if it's only towards his small bubble, to communicate differently with his parents, with his partner, and to see his job and career differently, and to react to his boss in a different way, and to his kids, just to be aware of what they're doing and to understand that in everything that they know is not true. And I call this course, I call it the path to the unknowing. To try to let go of all the knowledge we've been given, everything we've been told from marketing, from our parents, from religion, from everything all the wrong information we've ever been given in our life about what is the meaning of being alive, or the meaning or the purpose of being human, and to see the true nature of everything, the true nature of us, the true nature of everybody around us. What is our intentions? How to act in a way that is beneficial to you, to your potentials, to your family, to your career, to your kids, to your partner. How to live as a human, to do the transformation from human being to being human. And to eliminate suffer from their life, to eliminate the pain and suffering that been the main focus of most of my young teenager and adult life. And whoever this will be able to help to, I'm
powerful. Thank you, man. Thank you, Sheryl. So what's next for you after this book and book, and then also the online course that you're creating? Are there other ways you plan to continue helping others on their path? I know my purpose is to serve. Right now I'm planting this seed. I'm providing this the condition that it needs in order for it to grow. Whatever will come next will come. And there is no tomorrow. Trust the process.
the same in business, the same in this path. It's
Yeah.
for me. It's only about the next step. It's never about the destination.
Mhm.
Right now, what is my next step? So my next step is, if it's to work on my addiction, to improve the way I speak, so I'll be able to talk and communicate about this, and to be able to.
By the way, I really I understand you, and I'm sure the audience also understands you. And thank you, man. Yeah, and I love your honesty, and this is what I meant by the living, breathing example of what you are trying to teach people to overcome their fear, to get mental clarity on their life purpose, to overcome anxiety. Because doing this, as you said, you experience the anxiety, but you're not allowing it to inhibit you or stop you from doing this. So basically, this is it. This is your teaching. You are proving it by showing it.
Whatever I live by the way I teach. I can only teach through my own personal experience, the same way as I told you we did spoke before about the coffee.
Yes.
Only if it's something you experience yourself, you've seen the benefits of it on your own body,
Exactly.
on your own, through your own experience.
Yeah.
Then you can share it. Then you can teach it to other people.
Yes.
And it's not only you can; it becomes your responsibility.
Powerful. Thank you, Brother Daniel. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Daddy, for having me.
Really
enjoyed
good
this
to have you
conversation.
here, man. I really enjoyed it, and I'm sure maybe in like 200 or 300 episodes later, we'll bring it back, and I'll be like, oh, and see your books and see your online course and all that. So I'm so looking forward to it.
Myself as
Thank
well.
you, brother.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Yeah.